When you were a teenager, did you get along with your parents? Parents and teenagers don't always understand each other. It's difficult. One side is dealing with middle-age stress, while the other just wants some freedom. And it is this struggle that is the basis for the story I have for you today. I can guess that the ending won't be one that you expect. This is the bizarre case of the disappearance of Natasha Ryan. Before we dive in, if you are interested in stories about disappearances or other strange occurrences, well, those are my favorite too. I try to upload as often as I can. Consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video. And be sure to leave a comment down below. I truly love hearing from each one of you. Natasha was 14 years old. 14 can be a difficult age for anyone, and that was certainly true for Natasha. Overall, she was a good kid. They usually are. But too many changes all at once can put stress on anyone. Her parents had gotten divorced. School sucks. And now she's caught somewhere between being a child and a woman. Men notice her now when just a few years ago they didn't. And while she used to be unsure how to feel about it, the more it happened, the more she thought certainly she's becoming a woman now. Maybe, she concluded, it was time that she grew up. On July 12, 1998, Natasha vanished while walking the family dog in her hometown of Rockhampton, Australia. She was found 2 days later by police at a music festival. She had been staying in a hotel with her boyfriend at the time, one Scott Black, age 21. Scott was charged with obstructing an investigation and paid a fine of $1,000. The next month, on August 31st, 1998, Natasha took off again. Police, now familiar with Natasha, thought she was likely to return in a few days, just like last time. It seemed to confirm that she did in fact run away when witnesses spotted her outside a movie theater, talking to an older man. Perhaps it was this hope that kept police from publicizing the case. One source states that it took nearly a month for the police to inform the public about the missing Natasha Ryan. The police interviewed Scott Black, and he claimed to have no idea where Natasha had gone. As the months passed by and still with no sign of Natasha, coupled with the vanishings of several other women in Rockhampton, authorities began to fear that they were dealing with a serial murderer. Rockhampton was a small city of about 62,000 at the time. How likely is it that these disappearances aren't connected? On April 22, 1999, 48-year-old Leonard Fraser stalked Kira Steinhardt, age 9, as she walked home from school. He hit her in the back of the head, knocking her to the ground, and assaulted her right there in broad daylight. He picked up the girl and placed her in the trunk of his car and drove off. His disgusting behavior was all witnessed by a neighbor across the street, who happened to be looking out her window as the attack happened. She called the police, and he was found shortly and arrested. While in custody, Fraser confided to another prisoner about a knife he was hiding. He had asked that prisoner to hide it for him. The prisoner instead tipped the police off to the location of the knife. The blood on the knife was a DNA match for Kira Steinhardt. Fraser had been to prison before, and he was desperate to stay out of general population. So, in exchange for protective custody, he admitted to the murders of Sylvia Benedetti, Beverly Lego, Julie Turner, and Natasha Ryan. Police found trophies of victims at his house, and he was able to direct investigators to the remains of the women, all except Natasha. Fraser graphically detailed how he had murdered Natasha and drew maps of where police could find her body, but her body was not found. Fraser even told another prisoner that he was frustrated that the police could not find her. The prosecutor for the case, Paul Rutledge, still felt there was more than enough evidence to convict Fraser of the murders, so the trial proceeded. April 11th, 2003, which was the 12th day of the trial, witnesses were getting ready to testify about the potential motives and methods Fraser might have used to harm Natasha Ryan. During the court's lunch recess, Prosecutor Rutledge received an unexpected phone call. He relayed the information to the court. "I am pleased to inform the court that Leonard John Fraser is not guilty of the murder of Natasha Ann Ryan. Natasha Ryan is alive." It turns out, earlier that same month, police received an anonymous letter claiming Natasha was alive. The letter also included a phone number of a residence. On the evening of April 10th, law enforcement officers had forcibly entered this residence in North Rockhampton. Inside a bedroom cupboard, they discovered a very much alive but ghostly pale Natasha Ryan. And the residence where she was found in the cupboard belonged to none other than Scott Black, Natasha's older boyfriend, the one who previously swore to police that he had no idea where she was. Natasha Ryan made an appearance in court during her own murder trial. She testified that clearly she had not been murdered by Leonard Fraser. As a result, the court concluded that Fraser was not guilty of murdering Natasha. However, he was found guilty of the murders of Kira Steinhardt, Beverly Lego, Sylvia Benedetti, and Julie Turner. He was subsequently sentenced to life in prison. Natasha Ryan's reappearance, while a relief to the world, sparked outrage as people questioned how could she allow her loved ones to believe she'd been murdered for years. In 2005, her boyfriend, Scott Black, received a 1-year prison sentence for perjury after falsely claiming to police that he didn't know Natasha's whereabouts. Then in 2006, Natasha herself was found guilty of creating a false police investigation. This resulted in a $1,000 fine and no conviction due to her being a child for 3 of the 5 years that she was missing. At that same court proceeding, Scott was convicted and fined $3,000. He was also ordered to pay more than $16,000 toward investigation costs. Despite the legal consequences, Natasha capitalized on the publicity. She sold her story to the Australian version of 60 Minutes for 120,000 Australian dollars. She and Scott Black married in 2005 and sold the news of their marriage to Women's Day for $200,000. The couple now have 3 children. When asked why she stayed in hiding, Natasha told the police the lie had become too big.